Hello! Since it's a nice summer's day, I thought we could do a stroll through the garden and our property to show you where we live. Come! A nice wildflower meadow with some rose bushes there, birches, lots of butterflies and bumblebees. And here is an old hunting shack that we're considering probably in a few years or something tearing down, and this would be a perfect spot for a guest house or a holiday home. Or it's a nice spot. It has its own access from the road. It has a bit of a path leading from the road to here, so it would provide quite a lot of privacy for people staying here, be it family or holiday makers. It's a nice spot. And from our hunting shack, we'll walk a little bit through the meadow to a second barn. We have a barn near our house, but we also have an old barn here. Won't give you the big tour inside, but we'll just open the door and show around the barn a bit. There's 2 floors, well, 1.5 floors really. And there's not much in here, but it's a convenient storage space. Then there's a door downstairs as well, but we'll leave that for now. And this field is quite bare now. You see some new birches growing, but we plan to plant some fruit trees, apples, cherries, plums maybe, to make it a little bit more diverse than what it is now. And this little road path leads to the big gravel road. Here is the public road that leads from our property to the town, the village, with our mailboxes here, our bins, and this way we'll continue onto our property again and towards our house and the rest of the garden.
But wait a minute, because this is where all our wild strawberries grow, so I just have to pick a few before we move on. They're kind of hard to find and pick, but they are super tasty.
So now it's just a bit of a walk on our newly upgraded driveway to a new bridge I made, so that we don't have to walk all the way to the house on the driveway. I made this bridge a couple of weeks ago, so we can easily cross from the driveway onto this mowed path into the meadow that leads to the lawn. It's a bit nicer of a walk than on the gravel driveway. Come! So here we are on the lawn that we keep clipped. We did add a few plants and trees. There are some apple trees there, and the newest addition behind that apple tree is it a rose? A rose, yes. So now we'll walk past the house and to our back garden. There's some raspberry growing here. And for the rest, we're just keeping a part of this unmowed for the bees and the butterflies and all the other insects.
Welcome. Come on. Well, welcome to my happy place. So I've got some strawberries that we got from a friend, beans. Here there's apple trees I'm trying to grow, and some kale. These ones are supposed to become pepper plants. We'll see. I haven't seen any indication that they're going to give us any peppers this year. Some more kale. These humongous ones are 1 million tomato plants. I bought some seeds and I planted all of them, and they all came up and they all became tomato plants. So we'll see. We might drown in tomatoes. Yeah, and then I was a little bit afraid that we wouldn't have any pollinators coming in here because, well, maybe they don't know about it and I don't know how appealing tomato plants are. So I planted some clove that I just took from the grass yesterday to kind of try and entice any pollinators in here.
From our greenhouse, this is a garage where we store motorcycles and the quad bike and a little storage for lawnmowers, that kind of stuff. And then next to that we have some berry plants. A few of them look a bit miserable because we had a caterpillar infestation that we kind of found out a bit too late about. So they ate all the leaves of 2.5 plants, maybe more. So next year we'll need to stay on top of that. And then up here behind me you see some more storage and our barn, of course, which we'll skip for now. Here's the old water well that's still functioning, so we use it sometimes to water the dogs or water some smaller plants. A few small storage sheds that are in a bad state, and a root cellar that's also not in the best of states. But yeah, I think slowly but surely we'll try to pile on some more soil so that it's insulated better, because it's not keeping a stable temperature and it's way too moist in there. So as you can see, we're also keeping this clipped so that us and the dogs can freely roam around the house, and then everything further away from the house is kept wild and flowery and meadowy. So we'll continue over this field onto the forest and the meadow beyond. All the hay that we took out of the hay barn is stored in that little building, and we're hoping that it's going to compost and make us useful compost for next year or in 2 years, but we'll have to see how that goes. We might have to turn it or water it, or, well, basically search YouTube how to make compost. It's been raining for a few days. This is one of the first good days again, so the stream has overflowed. Normally this is also quite a wet area, so it's sometimes difficult to get through with the quad, as you can see by the tracks. But it's nice to have a stream nearby where the dogs can play, and yeah, so we do think maybe we should add some sort of crossing or a bridge, but for now it's fine like it is. Come. On that side is some very thick forest that I've started to thin out a bit so that we can walk through it, so that the trees can grow a bit better. And here we've come to our grill spot. According to the previous owner, there used to be a school here. You can see the foundation stone still here, and there are some plants, flowers that you can see that they used to have in their garden. There's not much left because I think it was 18 something he said that it was last used as a school, and it burned down. But it's convenient to sit on when you're grilling. We plan to make some log benches here as well for if we have guests. I think that will happen soon. But for now, if you bring one chair, one person there on the stones, it's a perfect spot to grill a sausage. And from here it's just forest to the end of our property. So now we've come to the top of our property. There's a little forest road running just across the absolute top, so we can also reach it by car, by quad. And this forest road runs by some hunting towers and up to the tallest point in the area. But so this was a straight line through our property. Of course, there's more on the sides, but it's quite a narrow plot. So there's forest here, there's forest a few dozen meters that way as well. So I hope you enjoyed this little tour, and we'll see you next time.